is Saturday, January 6th, the first Saturday of the new year, and there's no other place I'd rather be than right here at the desk. It's like my first weekend without hosting something or putting up decorations, taking down decorations, buying presents, all this stuff. It's like finally our first weekend of just not having a lot to do, which is kind of nice. I have a little something to do. I got to tell you about what's going to be on the program today, so let's get going right there. We got on the show today Fit Brain Club's Dan Daly. He's going to be talking about some of the things that we are dealing with maybe in the new year with family members. You may have noticed over the holidays their mind isn't quite right, a little bit of dementia slipping in. Some of the tips we can do to help our family members get the services they need and the support they need. And then, of course, we got a great sports corner with the ever-present Cole Young. We're looking forward to that one as too. Let's go to Stay Informed. We have a great town hall coming up for you next Friday. It's going to be over at United Mutual. Their board is holding a town hall on Friday, January 12th at 2 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center, Clubhouse 3, room number 2. Town halls are important stuff, folks. I just had one of the board members on from United. They were talking about the fact that they don't know everything that's going on in the community. They need to hear from you. So they really want you to come out, tell them what's going on, what services are being done well or are not being done well, issues you might be having in your home, in your neighborhood, whatever it might be. The only way they can help and be aware of that is if they know about it. So make sure you go to those town halls and let folks know on the board what's going on, and so they can help serve your community just a little bit better. All right, let's take a look at our local weather. It's going to be a nice weekend. Today's going to be the warmest day of the weekend, so get out there and enjoy it. We got mostly sunny skies today as the clouds clear out from the morning, and then we're going to be in 64s are going to be our high, and then we're going to get really just kind of the 60s and 62s for the rest of the week, and maybe, just maybe, next weekend we might be talking about some rain. But enjoy this weekend. It's going to be a nice one. Hope you enjoy it. Get out there, have some fun. Sunrise, sunset, let's take a look at that. Ben Givens, he is our prolific picture taker, and we appreciate our many folks who take those pictures for us. This is a great shot in the village here, and this sunrise today was 6:55. Sunset tonight is going to be 4:47. The days are getting just a little teeny bit longer as we go through the rest of winter and headed for spring. All right, folks, when we come back, we're going to be talking to Dan Daly from the Fit Brain Club. Stay with us.
No one deserves to be ashamed of their smile. MacArthur Dental Arts is here to bring back your confidence. We specialize in at-home personalized smile restoration through the power of dental implants and perfect fit dentures. I'm here to answer all your questions with free in-office consults or using our Laguna Woods in-home service special. Don't wait to get the secure, worry-free smile you deserve. Visit MacArthurDentalArts.com or call the number on your screen to schedule your consultation today.
The Salvation Army Orange County is committed to building hope in people's lives rather than just more shelters. The Center of Hope, a comprehensive homeless care solution, combines a 325-bed emergency shelter, 72 permanent supportive housing apartments, on-site medical, dental, vision, and mental health care, and an award-winning drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. Donate today to transform lives, create safer neighborhoods, and provide an opportunity to end chronic homelessness in Orange County.
Pet boarding and daycare reimagined in Laguna Woods. Smart Park is offering 1 month of unlimited free daycare to new clients that pass a temperament evaluation. Call today to redeem this offer and get started.
Welcome back. Fit Brain Club and Alzheimer's Orange County have a very important thing coming up in January they want to talk to you about. And we have Dan Daly here to talk to us about exactly what's going on January 8th. We're going to be talking about driving and Alzheimer's, right?
Right,
and,
exactly.
That's that tricky conversation. One of the last conversations you usually have to have with a person who's suffering from dementia is, we can't drive anymore.
Right, exactly. It's a real challenge, emotionally speaking, for the recipient. It's also a challenge for the family member who has to break the news.
Right.
And as I told you earlier, I was a conservator for a friend of mine who had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's early onset. And that was about 18 years ago. And when I had to break the news that I had to get his license non-renewable, that was a major challenge. But in his case, it took about a day and he got over it. But there are some people, whether they have dementia or not, they reach that certain age and the reactionary time slows down. And that's when you potentially have a problem on your hands. Because a lot of them drive from rote memory, and they know from point A to point M, they know exactly how to get there.
Right. I couldn't tell you all the streets I take to get places sometimes. I do that, like you say, that rogue memory. I know how to get to Anaheim Stadium or Disneyland or something like that, right? Because I just know how to get there.
Right. And if they are thrown off with the detour sign, they have to take a left turn instead of a right turn. That could be a cause of accident. And at that point in time, problems begin. And they surface very quickly.
Right, and that can be legal problems too, right? We could, if they're getting in an accident and they have dementia, well, that's a prime ticket for maybe a lawsuit or personal injury and those kinds of things. Right. And then we're talking about savings, houses, and those kinds of things, maybe being up for grabs.
You're looking at the total assets. If a lawyer gets involved, nothing against negative about lawyers, but they're going to protect their client. And sometimes they'll seize assets, or the court will seize assets, and that's when you have a major problem. And the individual who caused the accident, that's one thing. The family who's responsible for that loved one, they're involved big time.
Right, they might be an executor or have power of attorney, and therefore they're really the ones in charge, almost like if you had a minor that got into some trouble, the parents would be also liable. Right.
It's a tough situation to be in. But in retrospect, the best thing to do is get rid of that license and tear it up or do something with it, like a credit card.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's we all have stories. I remember years and years ago, my wife's grandfather hadn't come back from the store for a little while, and he was visiting, and he'd taken the car, and he was showing those early signs of dementia. We went out and found him just driving up and down Crown Valley, and because he didn't know couldn't figure it out, and we got him back and everything like that. But you see those early signs, and like you said, even if there aren't those early signs of dementia, there's that. You get to a certain age where your reaction time just isn't there anymore, and you just the capability of doing that. But that's that last bastion of freedom that folks have, right? That's the last thing where they get to the bank, they get to the store, they get to go out and do things, and taking that away can be a very traumatic thing for anybody.
Absolutely. They'll drive to the bank, to the barber shop,
post office,
you name it, church, synagogue, you name it. That's the last vestige of independence. They're very, very important to them.
Yeah, and once you take that away, and that's where the anger, they're upset, and it's not about the fact that maybe it's time. It's the fact that all of these things are going away for them now, and they feel even more dependent of having lived a life of independence. How do we make that transition though? How do you kind of ease people into that transition where going from independent to a certain amount of dependency or reliance?
If in the case of somebody with dementia, you have to be very patient in explaining to them. And sometimes you'll have a visual aid and showing the results of a major accident. And as long as it clicks with them, but it's not going to be one meeting or one discussion. It's going to be steps step 1 through 5 maybe.
Right.
And it all depends upon how advanced that dementia is. The other thing you have to consider is the fact that their short-term memory is really compromised. And so that's...
So you might have the same conversation over and over again
Right.
with them in terms of that. And that's also a sign that, you know, telling you you're making the right decision sometimes, right? Like, they can't remember yesterday's conversation. It's clear that, you know, they're going to have some challenges driving.
Or during the conversation, if you get them to agree that driving can be hazardous, and then you show a picture of an accident, and they agree, and sometimes a picture's worth 1,000 words. And whatever it takes, you're gonna have to get very creative in pointing the negative aspects of an accident out to them. And it usually works.
Yeah. We have a speaker. You have a speaker coming up on January 8th. Tell us about the event. Tell us about what's going on there.
January 8th will be the Fit Brain Club. Debbie Ricker, who's an occupational therapist, who's registered, licensed, she'll be discussing all the problems with dementia and driving and all the pitfalls that can result from driving and getting in an accident. And the meeting itself, we anticipate a lot of people will walk through the first time. Everything is free. We have a company called Adapt to It. It's a local company here in Laguna Woods, and they'll provide quality, healthy refreshments. And I went to Starbucks at the corner of De Valencia and El Toro, and they have donated free coffee.
Oh, terrific.
So
yeah,
that works out.
I've been
great.
there many times.
Oh, yeah, it's a great spot.
Now, this event is really for family members and caregivers, right? To kind of help them get the step-by-step process that they can take, the proven step-by-step process that works, that is kind of reliable in terms of having those conversations about driving.
Yeah, it's open to all the residents of Laguna Woods Village, and we get anywhere from 35 to 85 people, depending upon. And this particular subject will attract a lot of residents.
Yeah, and it's an important one. I know how important that is, and you know, bottom line is, I think the family members, you know, you try to let them know that you're there for them. This is because we love you, because we care for you, and we want to see you safe. You know,
Right.
and that's one of those things that also can be sometimes lost. And that, you know, we're taking away your keys, but it's not about that. It's about the care that you have for this person. You want to make sure they're okay and they don't harm anybody else as well.
Right, and our credibility is unquestionable. We've been providing speakers for the Fit Brain Club every year for the last 14, 15 years. So they know when we bring in a speaker, it's going to be a very knowledgeable, very dramatic sometimes. It could be a healthcare professional, it could be an attorney, it could be somebody from the Council on Aging, and in this particular case, a very unique topic and speaker.
Yeah, terrific one. Dan Daly from Alzheimer's Orange County, thank you so much for coming in, talking about this a very important topic, and make sure, folks, you get out to that January 8th event. It's going to be a good one. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
All right, you're watching This Day. We'll be right back.
Ready to hear the good news? From teaching others how to use their iPhone at the Mac Club or volunteering at the History Center, our community saves thousands of dollars. And there's more. The special volunteer luncheon happens because of sponsors. Recently, it was Memorial Care, Ivy Living, and Freedom Village that stepped up to help offset the cost. These are just a few of the many good things that happen in your community. Help be a part of it and volunteer today.
Hi, welcome to Pacific Financial Planners. We focus on income replacement for your retirement. We have over 3 decades of professional money management experience. We personalize a plan that's right for you and your family. You only get one shot at retirement. Don't you think you better get it right? So give us a call for your free consultation. We can do this over the phone, via Zoom, or in person.
Hi, I'm Amazing Hearing's first patient. Anne is so compassionate and kind.
10 years ago, Maggie drove nearly 2 hours from her home near the mountains for a routine hearing appointment. Amazing Hearing is proudly celebrating its 10th anniversary of serving you and your hearing healthcare needs. Come into our office and find out why Amazing Hearing has been named the best place to buy a hearing aid in Orange County. We're located in the Trader Joe's El Torito Shopping Center.
Happy New Year and welcome back to the first episode of Sports Corner in 2024. Hope everyone had a great holiday season and we have a lot of catching up to do, so I'll get right into it. Starting off in the world of college football, the bowl games have come to an end and the national championship stage is officially set. On New Year's Day, the 2 bowl games that served as the college football playoff semifinals kicked off and both games were nothing short of incredible. To start the day, the number 1 Michigan Wolverines met up with the number 4 Alabama Crimson Tide in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. Both teams entered this game as the top 2 winningest programs in college football history, so it was shaping up to be a legendary matchup. At halftime, Michigan led the Tide 13-10, but their swarming defense looked to be in command all day. Alabama came out of the locker room and clearly had some major halftime adjustments, scoring twice and taking a 20-13 lead. Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy then engineered an incredible 75-yard game-tying drive with just 1 minute and 34 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The game was tied and would head into overtime. It took just 2 plays into overtime for Michigan running back Blake Corum to punch in a touchdown from 17 yards out, and it was Alabama's turn to respond. With the game and season on the line, Bama quarterback Jalen Milroe lined up in shotgun on 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. Milroe took the snap and took off up the middle, where he was stopped 2 yards short of the goal line, and Michigan had sealed the victory. The 14-0 Wolverines will play for their school's first national title since 1997. They waited patiently throughout the afternoon to see who their opponent would be in the big game, which would be decided by the Sugar Bowl. The Washington Huskies and Texas Longhorns headed to the Superdome in New Orleans to fight it out for its spot in the national championship game. Similar to the Rose Bowl, this game was a nail-biter down to the very last second. The game was tied 21-21 at half, but the Huskies would come out firing in the second half, scoring 13 unanswered points and taking a 34-21 lead with about 14 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers led the Longhorns on a 10-play, 72-yard touchdown drive, followed by another field goal. Washington kicked a field goal of their own, and the score sat at 37-31. Texas got the ball back, and with 1 second remaining on the clock, were on the 13-yard line, threatening to score. Ewers took the snap and threw a nearly identical pass to the one he threw for a touchdown earlier in the game, but unfortunately for Texas, this ball was swatted and the Huskies would hold on to win. Washington quarterback Michael Penix Jr. finished the night with 430 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns, which is one of the most dominant college football playoff performances in history. The Washington Huskies will head to NRG Stadium in Houston to compete for their 3rd national title in school history. Washington has previously won in 1960 and 1991, but has not been back since. But, like I said, in their way stands the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan are slight favorites to win so far, and this game will be played on this upcoming Monday, January 8th. It's already shaping up to be one of the best college football playoff games in history, but to be honest, I just hope it's even remotely more entertaining than last year's 63-7 blowout. What shouldn't be too hard. This next sentence is not easy for me to say at all. The NFL is officially entering the final week of the regular season. Before I get into the playoff picture, there's a few storylines I need to catch you up on. Arguably the biggest story across the sports world this past week has been the controversial ending to the Cowboys and Lions game this past weekend. The Lions were down 20-13, but scored a late touchdown to bring the score to 20-19. Instead of kicking the PAT, the Lions opted to go for 2 and to seal a win and possibly a home playoff game. Jared Goff completed a pass to offensive lineman Taylor Decker on a trick play, but flags were thrown. Head official Brad Allen claims that there was illegal touching on the play since Decker did not report as an eligible receiver and therefore could not be the person to catch the pass. But video began circulating of Decker clearly reporting to the referee that he was entering the game as an eligible receiver, and the sports world went absolutely berserk. My opinion, rightfully so, as this appeared to be a horribly blown call that cost the Lions a win and possibly a home field advantage in the playoffs. Brad Allen and his crew have been responsible for several controversial calls this season, but that crew has been downgraded as punishment, meaning they will not be able to officiate in the postseason. Anyway, even with controversy, the postseason is approaching nonetheless. These 18 weeks have absolutely flown by. This upcoming Week 18 is a weird one because some teams have already punched their tickets into the postseason and will be resting most, if not all, of their starters, while some teams are scratching and clawing to sneak into the final 1 or 2 spots left. Here's how the playoff picture looks so far heading into the final week. The Ravens and 49ers have both secured a first-round bye and the number 1 seed in their respective conferences. I would be thoroughly surprised if these were not the 2 Super Bowl teams. The Chiefs yet again won the AFC West and clinched their playoff spot, while the Dolphins have clinched as well, but will face off with the Bills this weekend in what is essentially the AFC East championship game. Against all odds, the Cleveland Browns have clinched a playoff spot and have a roster prepped for a deep playoff run. There are 3 remaining spots in the AFC playoffs, and the Jaguars, Bills, and Colts are all in the hunt, while the Texans and Steelers are just on the bubble. All 5 of these teams are basically in a win-and-in situation while hoping for the other win-and-in teams to lose or tie or any combination of all of those things. In the NFC, there are only 2 spots remaining. The Eagles, Lions, Cowboys, and Rams have all clinched a playoff spot. The Buccaneers desperately need a win over the Panthers this weekend to not only win the NFC South, but to secure a playoff appearance. The Packers may not be able to win their division, but they can earn their spot in the playoffs with a win this weekend. The Seahawks, Saints, Vikings, and Falcons all surprisingly can earn one of the final spots, although the odds are pretty slim and the combination of wins and losses and ties they need are pretty much impossible. For the final time this season, here are my picks. Next week, I'll go over my final record with my picks and revisit my playoff predictions. Anyway, this week I'm going with the Buccaneers over the Panthers, the Packers to earn a win over the Bears, Pittsburgh to get a necessary win over Baltimore, who will be playing backups, and a controversial one to end the season, the Bills to earn their playoff spot after taking down the Dolphins. This has been an NFL regular season to remember, but personally, I can't wait for the playoffs. Over the course of the past 90 episodes of this show, I've mentioned other football leagues outside of the NFL a few times. There have been several that have come and gone, but the 2 leagues that have seemed to stick around are the XFL and the USFL. On Sunday morning this past week, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, owner of the XFL, made an appearance on the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show. Johnson made an announcement that came as very little surprise to anyone. The XFL and the USFL would be merging to form one league, the UFL. The league will be made up of 4 teams from each league and will kick off this spring. The 2024 UFL season will begin on March 30th when the reigning USFL champion Birmingham Stallions and defending XFL winner Arlington Renegades will face off. After 2 seasons of the USFL and 1 successful season of the XFL, it seems like spring football is here to stay. While the quality and entertainment level might not be up to par with the NFL or even the NCAA, it's still always great to have more football on the calendar. That is very much my personal opinion because, as I'm sure you could tell, I am arguably the biggest football fan you can find. But these leagues do provide opportunity. In a way, these spring leagues sort of act like a minor league for the NFL. Players that maybe never quite made an NFL roster or made a roster and fizzled out or any other situation now have an opportunity to showcase their skills and possibly receive an NFL contract. After a successful 2023 campaign, the XFL lived up to its mantra of being the league of opportunity, as over 100 players have either signed or were invited to work out with an NFL team. To close out the show, I wanted to end with a story about a sport I have never covered: darts. 16-year-old Luke Littler has taken the PDC World Darts Championship by storm in his debut. Following victory after victory, Littler earned his spot in the World Championship, becoming the youngest player to accomplish this feat by over 5 years. On Wednesday afternoon, the teenage phenom from Warrington, England, squared off with the number 1 player in the world, 28-year-old Luke Humphreys, at Alexandra Palace in London. At one point, the teenager had the chance to take a 5-2 lead, but world number 1 Humphreys came back to win 5 straight sets and win his first world title. The unseeded Littler would have become the youngest ever winner of the dart's biggest prize, but fell just short on the big stage. Regardless of the loss, Littler has become a household name and has a long, successful career ahead of him. Littler's life has already changed, mainly because even as a runner-up, Littler won 200,000 pounds, or 250,000 US dollars, in prize money and looks likely to contend for major titles for years to come. I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show that this was the 90th episode of Sports Corner, so I'll take the time now to say thank you for joining me on 90 episodes. I'll have to do something special for the 100th episode, so make sure you stay tuned for that, as well as every Friday from here until then. Enjoy your cold weekend full of meaningful football, and I'll see you right back here next week. I'm Cole Young. Happy New Year, and have a great weekend.
It's Saturday, that means we got a movie to talk about, and this one's a good one. It's called Genius, and it stars Colin Firth and Jude Law, and it's brought to us by Saddleback Memorial Care. It's going to be at 2 p.m. with the subtitles and 6 p.m. without the subtitles. And it's a chronicle of Max Perkins' time as the book editor at Scribner, where he oversaw works by Thomas Wolfe, Ernest Hemingway, F. Scott Fitzgerald, and others. So kind of shares the experience of talking with all those amazing authors and working with them over at Scribner. Good one. Make sure you get out there and see that one. Before that, though, if you want to go out for today, it's going to be a nice day of weather, and we got some good weather shots for you here. We got about mid-60s today is what we're going to get up to, and that's going to be the warmest day of the rest of the week. We got low 60s throughout there, so get out there and enjoy it. Mostly sunny today, partly cloudy on Sunday, and then again sunny on Monday. But we're going to have some very cold temperatures, 39 degrees overnight, so make sure you're bundling up. We might have a chance for rain later on in the week, but we'll see about that as we go. That's going to do it for this edition of This Day. On Monday on the program, we want to make sure you get MacArthur Dental Arts and Renew Ketamine Infusion are going to be our guests. We're going to have a good day of health and dental health, so we'll see you on Monday. Until then, for all of us here at Village TV, we want to make sure you make this day a great one.
We believe every senior should be able to remain healthy, happy, and at home. At Caring Senior Service, we understand the value of compassion and companionship. Our caregivers promote health, happiness, and independence. We cook nutritional meals, engage in meaningful activities, run errands, do light house cleaning, and more. Call us toll-free at 833-926-3700 or visit our website, CaringSeniorServiceLW.com. Healthy, happy home. Caring Senior Service.
Whether you're tech challenged, use tech daily, or a tech geek like me, my show Let's Talk Tech has something for everyone. I'm Debbie Dotson, the host, and each month I bring a variety of information about the world of technology. My content is delivered in a basic way to help all my viewers, no matter what their skill level is, with technology. Watch us on Village Television or subscribe to the Village TV YouTube channel, where you'll never miss an episode of Let's Talk Tech.